you can actually do an LRP order to be able to get points for getting your BOGOs. Did you guys know that? So very, very cool. I'm wondering if I can bring you in there real quick. Well, okay, I'm supposed to be focusing because honestly, this whole thing about teaching a class, I want to show you all the cool things, but I also want to make sure you're equipped to do all the fun things that we were doing for BOGOs as well. So let me just like talk you through really quick. When you're looking at your doTERRA thing, and you've already logged in, and you're looking at your own Lowe's Rewards order, you're going to click the, you can do it two ways. My preferred way is to click the button that says create, does it say create extra oil? No, extra LRP order, or create additional? I can't remember what word it uses. I should totally bring it up, but I'm worried that if I go fidgeting around that I'll take too much time. Anyway, if you guys, it's like create, I think it says additional LRP order. And when you go into that, then you're not messing up, like if you already have your, whatchamacallit, like if you already have like, whatever it is you're getting for your next month, if you're like, oh, well, I already know I'm almost out of lavender, so I'm gonna put that on my list already. You don't have to mess with that. You can make an additional LRP order. And what's cool about that, oh, so create new LRP. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate you putting that in the chat. So it says create new LRP order. And that's the one, well, it looks like you have two orders going on, but that second one is super easy. Like you don't have to call in to be able to cancel that one. So you can just make that one order, which means that you're getting that 200, oh, is it 195? I think it's 195 PV. You're getting that 10% back on, or that 30% back on, depending on where you're at with that. So so I love being able to like have an extra way to like everything that you're getting, you're able to get those points back and get that extra discount. So even on BOGOs, can you guys believe this? So even on BOGOs, you're getting 30% less cost to you versus even the buy one get one free, which is so cool. And then of course those points you get to use in for other things later. You also get the shipping cost rewarded back to you, and like like doTERRA is just so generous that way. So I love that. Okay, so that was kind of like finish up from the excitement of the last thing, and we'll of course, in the enamored with nature stuff, I'll share that real quick. If you guys are in the enamored with nature oil education page, this one you guys will start seeing some posts about the BOGOs and the fun kind of stuff that we can add to the fun of the education from that. All right, so on to the next thing, which is I want to show you guys about how to teach an essential oil class. And I'm going to do this, I think, mostly in the form of if we were like not on quarantine, but it all translates, and to be able to do it on quarantine as well. But actually, the very first step that I want you guys to do, if you want to know about how to teach a class, or you know what, how about this? Can you guys first put in the chat for me? I know I'm going back and forth everywhere. Put in the chat for me, which of you has actually attended a class, or have you hosted a class, or have you only had a one-on-one? Okay, so if you attended a class ever, that would be like, this kind of style. If you've hosted a class where like I did the teaching, but you actually, oh yeah, we should add that too in, right? Attended, hosted, let's go ahead and say taught, and then put the fourth one, meaning like you only had the one-on-one. So attended, hosted, taught yourself. Hosted would be like you gathered the people and Marcella or Melissa or, or Chris or somebody or me came to actually teach it. And then the fourth choice would be you only had a one-on-one or a phone conversation with somebody or something like that. So just kind of curious what kind of experiences you guys have had already. So I'm going to pop in and kind of see over here. Looks like, oh, Oh, hey, Debbie, thanks so much. Enrollment from last April because of BOGOs. That's a really cool little extra perk from the last one. Okay, so hosted, attended, hosted, online only, attended and hosted in the past, hosted was years ago. Yes, all the cool things. Thank you guys for sharing. So when I have, when I did classes a while back compared to how I do them now, I am so thankful that things have gotten easier and easier and easier. And it really has become something that is just surprisingly duplicatable. Do you know the whole duplicatable thing? It's a hard word to say, but it basically just means if I can do it, you can do it. And that's a really cool concept, I think. Right? So if you would like to be able to know all the ins and outs, and even if this just ends up being a one-on-one or a phone conversation, or if you do your own Zoom call or something like this, this is how you start. Is you start by going to the Allyse SedivyTeaching, who's the only triple diamond that we have at the currently she's set now, but she's going to be triple blue diamond, and she's going to go up to triple presidential diamond, and she's going to be quadruple diamond. I mean, there's no stopping, right? Because she keeps training people to do she duplicates, right? She says, if I can do it, you can do it. So that's definitely the case here. So you're going to go and say, yes, please teach me now, and this is for free. You go ahead and click in here and you put in your email address, and there's no real tracking really, but once you have that, then you get to go to she has this little page. I don't think I have, maybe I don't have it saved, but anyway, but there is you'll be able to download what's called the Printable Back to Basics. And there is just the digital version. So if you want to print this out, it is kind of I think it's over 80 pages or something like that. But we are going to focus today specifically on what starts on, I guess would be, it says page 15, but it's actually page 16 because you have the front cover. But this whole idea of how to do an intro to oils class in a super duplicatable, super easy way. So these correspond with the daily mentor calls that Allyse SedivyTeaching does. So that makes it even easier where I don't even have to necessarily walk through every single thing. It's just that you guys get to reference this and go over it yourself so that you can get confident to be able to walk your friend through it if you're doing this on Zoom, or being able to do it in a class setting once the quarantine thing is lifted. So I love that she gives all these cool things. Look, you only really need to have some of the basic essential oils, your basically your 10, what do they call those? That's not the basic. They call them, it's something else. Why am I thinking of the other word? Yeah, whatever the top 10 are. So it's the essential healthy start kit kind of thing, but it's your basic 10 plus a little bit of deep blue rub, something like that. You do want to have some little giveaways ready, but you don't even have to have a bunch of refreshments or a bunch of stuff like that. Having just some water to add some lemon or lime or wild orange seems to be plenty. And you don't even need a lot of setup time, usually 15 to 20 minutes seems fine. And then, you get walked through the entire setting of how to introduce yourself and give people here's one cool thing that I really didn't know about doing a class is when I first started, I loaded up all of my my hour and 45-minute presentation would be all about my stories, or story about my friend, or story about my friend. That all had, and stories are great, but I think it became a little bit too overwhelming for people to hear so much information. Fire hydrant. You guys get the idea? The whole fire hydrant thing, where if a little bit of water is good, then a lot of water is better, right? And that's just not always the case, right? So don't fire hydrant people. Just pick 2 or 3 really awesome stories and space them out, because what's really interesting is people who are investing, no, not investing, what's that right word? Interacting. Where is my word? I need to get me some easy on here. I'm going to put some clothes on while I'm here, right? People who are interacting during the presentation or class are going to be much more likely to purchase and to get those oils in their home because they feel that it's been catered to them, that their needs have been met. So that is really the goal of having any of these kinds of classes, is to really help people feel like their needs are met, not to sit there and talk about all your stories, which I really had a problem doing. So, so don't be like me. Do the duplicatable thing instead. So I'm going to share my screen again and show you guys how easy they've made it. This is what Allyse SedivyTeaching recommends, is you go, this is one of the tear sheets for essential oils made easy. And this is something you can print off one. You can just do like, you can buy some from the doTERRA back office for like $5 to get, I don't know, like 50 of them or something like that. So that they're really nice and like easy just to have available to you. And what's cool about this is you just kind of read from it. Like there's really not much else to do. You read from it by like going through these kinds of things and being able to ask them questions, get them to interact with you. Now, if you have questions about how that would actually look, I have another cool thing. So Allyse SedivyTeaching herself, right here, this is her doing a class full out according to the exact script. Like this is the exact script that she recommends, and like memorize it, do it confidently, just like she's doing. So this is where she's adding peppermint to
and
people.
I'm gonna put, doesn't have,
oh,
I don't know which hand. I'm gonna put 1 drop of peppermint in your hand, okay? So I'm gonna do it to me also, put 1 drop right here. Now I want you to take your finger and just dip it in that oil right there, and go ahead and stick that in your eye. Just kidding. Actually, this did happen in a class where someone like just put it right in their eye. Don't do this, this will hurt. But anytime that you get essential oils in a sensitive area of your body, all you have to do is just put carrier oil over that. Now we like to use fractionated coconut oil, but you can use anything. You can use olive oil, canola oil. But the reason why we use fractionated coconut oil is because it doesn't have, it's actually really great for your skin. It doesn't have that like slimy, oily residue. So here we go. Take your finger and I want you to put it on the top of the roof of your mouth, just like that. Now take your hands and rub them together just like this, okay? Cup your hands, and I want you to try and breathe it in for 30 seconds. Now be careful not to touch your eyes because it might burn. Breathe in. How does that feel? What do you think? Yeah, it kind of wakens you up, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome.
It is awesome. Yeah. What do you think?
My lungs are like super open.
Yeah, that is just 1 drop of essential oils. Yeah. And that was equivalent to you drinking 28 cups of peppermint tea. That's
okay, so I just wanted you guys to see that you can watch Allyse SedivyTeaching doing the entire thing, all of it. So everything that she recommends on her daily mentor calls, you know, page here, that totally works. And the entire script is right in here. See, it's the script for the whole essential oils presentation. So like you can see right here, she talks about the let's see. So have everyone put a drop in your of peppermint in their hand. Now dab your finger in the oil and put it in your eye. Just kidding, right? So like you guys are seeing, she did exactly that, right? And the whole thing about like not leaving an oily residue. This is a really, really good, super easy way for you to be able to get the right intentions and words over without you having to think too much about it. Okay, so I like that it's not just you trying to come up with your own thing. It's very, very duplicatable. Okay, so being able to go through the entire class, which includes teaching them how to use the essential oils aromatically, right, what we're seeing here, aromatically, topically, internally. And she even gives you the tips in that whole printable thing to see where to, so it says even reward whomever answers with a small sample bottle of lavender. And like she'll even tell you what to say as you're giving those things out, right? So I really, really like how simple it is to just go ahead and go through it. She even includes things about testimonials to be able to say, they have to share, right? That was a big deal for me. And this also leads into the entire previous portion that we had where, so our 4 lessons for the basic business intro is number 1 is getting started, which includes sampling effectively. And the reason that's such a big deal is because you want people to come to the class, and the only way they actually come to the class is when you sample them effectively. That means you're not overwhelming them with like, 7 oils to fix their fibromyalgia. You're being smart. You're only giving them 1 oil to help with one pain point that they have. Maybe it's sleeplessness, maybe it's allergies, whatever thing it may be. You're not overwhelming them. And then if that one thing kind of has like a mediocre result, no problem. You already told them, look, essential oils work differently for different people's bodies. Like you already told them this certain thing, which we go over in the basic business class, of course. So, and so as you're sampling and people are like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad you gave me that 2nd and that 3rd essential oil to really fix my issue. Now I see, like, I really need these. And so they want to meet with you. Like, I can't tell you how many times this has happened where I've done something for somebody and even kind of an offhanded way. And then they'll be like, Amanda, I really need to ask you some questions about that essential oil you gave me for my monthly cramps. And have like some really cool like meeting times with people because they wanted to know more. And that's the kind of people that we want to come to our class. And let me also go ahead and insert here too. In the beginning, I totally thought that getting the most people in a class at one time was like the best way to go. Turns out it's not. It's actually only having like 1 or 2 people, unless you have extra friends there who are familiar with doTERRA and can help them be able to like say, look up in the book, okay, if you're dealing with this huge like fungus issue, or if you're working with someone who has like cardiac problems or something like that, like this is the book that we look in, and this is how we kind of figure out, if you have someone who's also like friends who are able to help your friends go through that, then that'd be fine. But otherwise, only aim to have like 2 or 3 people at your class, because you want them to feel that personal attention, that you are going to be their coach. And I know sometimes that sounds like, oh, but what if I don't know the answer? Well, that's okay. Like you have the book there, and you have just like that relationship that says, I care about you and we're going to find these answers together. That goes a lot farther for people than knowing all the stuff that you think you have to know. So, all right, don't forget, guys, that part of the whole cool thing that we're doing with this basic business training, the reason why you added in is because I have some little drams that I want to be able to give you as like, if you were at my house, I would like offer you guys some really cool treats, because that's one of the fun things that I do when you're here with me. But I can't do that. And so I can, though, send out something very special to you. And so be thinking now about what it is that you would like as a special little treat from me, and I can send it to you in the mail. I found a way to send it very, very cheaply. So be thinking like, oh yeah, I've been thinking about that black pepper because I wonder how different it is from pink pepper. Or like she mentioned fennel in her water. I wonder what that's all about. Okay, so be thinking what it is that you want me to send you, because I would like to give you an extra treat because you're here and you're paying attention. Actually, speaking of that, let's go ahead and also pay attention. Well, should I just have you, let me just have you put now in the comments, because sometimes I get to the end and I'm not giving you guys enough chance to like put your preference in the comments. So go ahead and pop in now and tell me what it is you'd like to try. So maybe that's something random like ylang ylang or grapefruit or slim and sassy or something like that that you've been thinking like, I'm kind of curious, but I don't know if I want to buy the whole bottle of it or whatever. So go ahead and start putting that into the chat for me now. Okay, Chris says she wants a surprise. Hinoki. Oh yeah, Christina. That one's a rare one, but I would be happy to hook you up with that because it's really, really cool. It's only in the Japan market, but we got some as a freebie. So yeah, I would like to send you a little dram of that. Okay, some citrus bloom. Oh my goodness, I know citrus bloom, right? I'm so excited that I get to get that in the BOGO coming up because I only have about a half bottle left. It was a funny story about how I got that half bottle too. But anyway, okay, so be putting some stuff in the chat about what it is that you would like to have me send to you. And remember, do always, if you can, to help me out when I'm sending all this stuff, help me out by private messaging me or emailing me your address. Even if you've already sent it before, please do it again, just to get at the top of my thing, you know, so I don't have to go searching. Just helps me if I'm formulating a bunch of stuff and stamping stickers and just, yeah, send me your address, okay? All right, so go ahead and start putting that in the chat. Ginger, what a great one. Oh, citronella, yes, very, very cool idea, yes. Yep, looking at a list, good idea. Okay, so keep popping those in there, and I'm gonna go back and start telling you guys a little bit more about, so as we go through with the transition, there's one section that I wanted to point out to you that I think is really, really important to be able to go into the next part, because so from the section about, let's see, okay, so you have them tell you their testimonials, and that part is super important because yeah, it's the funnest part. They're actually saying, they're like, and then I was dying of my cramps, and Amanda said, hey, what if you take this in the bathroom and quick swipe some like on your lower abdomen and see how you feel, and suddenly all the, you know, whatever that I had felt before was just, and like it's really cool to hear them tell you their testimonies. I just love that. So after they tell you all those cool things, you're like, it's awesome to hear about how you can have those great experiences. Now let's talk about how we can purchase them to get these in our home. So you do this little transition talking about how the best way is to purchase, which typically you're gonna, you know, you mentioned, okay, there is a retail, but you don't really want to do that because it's the most expensive way to buy. But the second way is wholesale, and kind of like having a Costco card where you have an annual membership that gives you access to the great products, the best prices. With doTERRA, having a wholesale membership allows you to buy at 25% below the retail price. And then the third way, and the only way that I buy my oils, is below wholesale. It's the smartest way to purchase your oils, and you'll learn more about this a little bit later. And then you go ahead and mention to them about the kits that include the wholesale membership. So as you go on, you guys can see, I shouldn't even have to like read this all to you, but I want you to know it's all here, and it doesn't sound salesy when you're saying it in this way, but there is thought that has gone into the idea of like why you say things at certain types, at certain portions of the whatchamacallit, like just in a series, so that it flows really easily. You're going to also talk about the transition to the business and the 3 types of people. And this one actually is like a pretty easy way to go ahead and just say like, hey, doTERRA supports people who are only, you know, looking to live a natural lifestyle by having the free essential oil education. And then, you know, people who want to share, hey, doTERRA supports that kind of person too. And then the 3rd type of person who wants to change people's lives and educate them, then hey, doTERRA supports that kind of person also, and go ahead and come talk to me about how to get started with that. And so it makes it super easy and not like pressury and stuff like that. And then we also have, I'm sorry, is this closing? Oh yeah, so you also have your most powerful testimony. Now this one was one that I didn't think I had a super powerful one until I talked to other people, and they were like, oh, but remember that time that you told me about? And so for me, I think it's my helichrysum story. But all of us have little things that we're doing by using our oils every day that you might not even realize that somebody else really like. It's huge. But if you can pick one that that is something more along the lines of like I don't know, like a paradigm shift, which, you know, for me was my helichrysum story, because it allowed me to recognize that I didn't have to go have a doctor fix up a crazy bleeding mess, that I have the tools that I needed to be able to do that at home without even leaving. And these days that's even a bigger deal, because who wants to take their child who has a almost disconnected tongue into an emergency room when you have all those people with coronavirus, right? So you definitely want to be able to be empowered in your own home if this is where it's safest for us to be. So anyway, that's all kind of really awesome. But I will say here, this idea of the individual attention, I can't stress that enough. I know I mentioned it to you before about go ahead and work on having smaller classes, or having Zoom classes where you may even want to kind of take it off to the side a little bit, call them up a little bit later to be like, I know you told me that we were, that you're hoping to find some solutions for your daughter for her allergies or whatnot, and then take some time and actually listen to what they're saying. Listen, and don't just have a pre-scripted idea of I need to get them to buy a big kit, but what it is that you would actually do if you were trying to address your health challenges, which were the same as theirs. So have a real heart for people, and pay some close attention to what they're telling you, so that you can give some really good advice. And also don't be afraid to bring other people into it if you need to, if you guys want more advice from me or something. And then scheduling the wellness consult. This is a big deal, because we do want people to have the idea that you're going to be coaching them not just before they make that purchase, but even after. And having additional classes that you'll set up to be able to show their friends also as well. And inviting to the basic business intro is a big thing too. Also, I would say, the whole idea of also being able to just let them know that we do have these regular continuing education classes that are here, every Saturday at 10 o'clock. You guys can know there's going to be one of eight topics, which are part of what we're working towards here on the product side, which we finished just a little bit ago, was these 8 topics I have was Now What, Nutrition and Supplements, Toxin-Free Living, Oils for Every Age, Symphony of the Cells, Stress, Sleep and Emotions, Women's Health and Hormones, Oils for Pain Management. We also have some additional ones that might be fun. So these are the ones you guys can always are going to happen on Saturday at 10, and they're always going to be available for you guys to join in on, sometimes live, sometimes on Zoom like we're doing now. And then following that, there'll also be 4 topics for you to be able to have some basic business intro kind of stuff. So this is getting started, the compensation plan, how to teach an essential oil class, which is what we're doing now, and then Elite in 6 weeks, which is kind of combined overall version of all that. So, and those are the only things, and especially having some little incentives to be able to attend and get free stuff from that as well. That's as a perk. But the big idea here is to have someone purchase oils and then only have them sitting in a box, or only have them slid under the bed, or have them tucked in a drawer or stacked someplace in a corner. They're not doing any good. And so unless we get that education out to people about how to use those things on a daily basis, they're not going to have their life optimized, and their life isn't going to change. You have to get the oils in their home, but they also have to be empowered to be able to use them. And that's such a big passion for me. So if you are if you're doing the kind of thing where you're not 100% sure if this is something you want to share with people, you don't have to start making this like a big deal, but being able to clue people in to some of the choices that they can make, that's I think where the big deal is. Okay, I'm gonna go share my screen one more time. We are getting close to the end, guys, here. I promise. Okay, so we are talking about the daily mentor calls, and you guys already know about, okay, so on this, on the Essential Oils Made Easy, so this is a PDF that you can print out or you can send to people or attach it in an email if you want them to be able to look at it while you guys are talking or something like that over the phone. And we already talked about like the 3 ways to purchase, right? So I showed you guys the script portion, and this is what it looks like on the page, which is like super easy at a glance, you know, 25% below retail price with a membership, and the whole idea of like, you know, points for free products and stuff like that. And also doing the kits, you know, like this is where you would mention about having that, like the kits get extra money off. This is where you're sharing about the 3 types of people over here. So that's also, you know, living the wellness lifestyle, sharing and getting your products paid for, building to earn an income and make an impact. And those are, you know, how doTERRA helps, you know, or supports those people. And this is where you have them put their health concerns. So this is where, like, you know, my daughter dealing with allergies and, you know, sleeplessness for my husband, or like whatever thing it may be. And that's where you're taking the time to go ahead and look through those books and, you know, jump on a Facebook group or something like that. And you're going to do like just recommending some protocols, what it is that would make it easy for them to be able to get them started with a couple of solutions, which again, they all want because they only came to your class or had that one-on-one or asked you to meet with them to tell you more because they already had a really good experience when you gave them that other sample. So we're not ever even inviting them to the class or telling them more of these kinds of things until they've had a good experience. So then at the bottom, we're putting the wellness consult date that after they get started with the oils, and also remember to mention the lifelong vitality pack, which is really, really amazing. Okay, so you may also want to take a look at this, which, you know, this is also very easily available, like enrollment kit. So if they're like, well, what in the world do I do? Now, really generating a link is probably the easiest thing. And if you guys don't know how to do that yet, I don't know, do I have enough time? When am I at? I might be able to jump in and show you that. But I thought this was really cool because this is the total updated one. And it caused me to go ahead and give you guys the extra, what am I calling this? Insights into the adaptive enrollment kit, which includes an app. Can you guys believe that doTERRA is doing apps now? So this is way amazing, where they have an app here that similar to what people are doing with Peloton or some of the other, like, you know, Fitbit kind of stuff or things like that. But instead of being something that you wear that you might have to buy extra stuff for, they've actually introduced this app, and you get it's free to a level, but if you want the really like premium content, then there is a fee. And so when you do the enroll, oh sorry, just kidding, not that one. Yeah, if you enroll with the adaptive system for $150, it also includes a year of the adaptive app at the premium access. So you guys could actually go and look this up to download yourself onto your phone if you want. One of the really neat things about it is they have it where they're using something that's called canary speech. It was really neat to hear some of the details about this. And the guy who was introducing it was talking about how, like, you know, when you're talking to somebody in your family, even if they're saying, you know, like, how you doing, like, fine, you can tell from their speech that that they're not actually fine. But like a robot android kind of thing, you can't imagine that would actually be identifiable. But they found, and I don't even remember how many different biomarkers. Oh, here it is. We have identified 2,548 biomarkers in speech, and these markers are consistent for a disease across a range of individuals. So that's dis-ease. And they have the modeling development, which trains using linguistic, voice, and spectral features unique to the targeted dis-ease. And then also identifies human conditions. So what they're actually doing here with this adaptive app is they're having you like repeat. Oh yeah. So they have this also guided meditation that happens on it. So so you're doing a certain journaling thing using voice with the canary speech. And the canary speech is like kind of charting where you are, the same way that someone who really knows you super well could be able to like listen to all those paralinguistic what do you call it, biomarkers and things like that. And so it's looking at all of those and is going to track how you're feeling on a like day-to-day basis. And I think that's really, really awesome, especially for someone who's looking for a little bit extra assistance with the whole mental health kind of a stuff, you know? So I'm just really, really excited about all of that. And I think if we're going to have, yeah, I think because of the quarantine, we need to be more aware about mental health. And I think this is a really great way for us to do that. Okay, I would like to see you guys put in a chat super fast here. I know I don't have very much time left. I've only got like 3 more minutes or something. I want to be able to show you guys a link generator. Put it in the chat, a yes or a no. Have you ever used the link generator before? I'm mostly curious about this because I know I've shown it to a couple people, but I don't know if you guys are able to use it. And I just like 2 days ago, Angela called me up and she was trying to use the link generator, but she couldn't make it do what she wanted it to do. So let me show you guys real fast. And again, I hope everybody did get in their your order about like what dram you wanted. So, but yeah, go ahead and say no, I don't know what it is. No, yes, don't know, and the simplify. Okay, cool. So some people will definitely want to see this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share again, and you guys will have to be patient with me as I go through all the things of, you know, like actually, because I didn't have this one brought up ahead of time. So you'll just see me do all of this stuff. So I'm going to log in to my account. And thankfully this already has my password encrypted, so I'm not like giving you guys crazy information. And all right, so, oh yeah, by the way, this is a create new LRP order kind of thing, but we're not gonna go there. Instead, we're gonna come up here to account, and for me it says, hello, enamored with nature, because that's how I have my account under it. So it'll be, hello, Christina, hello, Melissa. So go to account profile. And when, so here, you can even do this on your phone, by the way. Go down to the part that under my business says link generator. By the way, if you want, you can also send somebody to your site address. I just have to pop this in here because this is actually what Angela needed the other day. So it's, for me, it's mydoterra.com/ and then you're going to be you, right? It's going to be like Melissa Polly or Yvette Chinchidrian or, you know, Chris Shink or whatever. So it's going to be that. And that's your, if someone says, oh, what does your website look like? That's your website and it's already yours. And that's really awesome. But what I actually wanted to show you was in the link generator. And you just click the button for sign up. You can educate, or you can do a guest bag, but we're just gonna do the generate link here. Continue. You're gonna ask them to just be a wholesale customer. And after you, oh look, here it is. Okay, so you can add the whole adaptive enrollment kit to the bag and then generate the link. No, you can add in, you know, Copaiba here if you want it, you know, or something like that. And then after that, you add it to the link. I always try to convert it so it's a little bit more normal looking. And once you have this copied, if you did it on your phone, you can text it to someone. If you're doing it here, you can pop it into, like, actually, I'll go ahead and pop it into the chat so you guys can take a look at what that looks like. Great. So I know this is going to pop me off in just a second here, but I am glad that I'm getting to at least show you guys some things that you guys will have a good setup for learning to teach